You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into...
All the things I've seen, all the things I've discovered, but not for much longer. Because too many others know what's happening out there. And no one, no government agency has jurisdiction over the truth.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! And the truth shall set you free!
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of 8192 The Truth. I want to welcome my partner, Brother Sin, kicking it with me again. He has made his decision, whether he's going to go to the fight or not. We'll talk about that later. If you guys heard Darth Vader on the podcast yesterday, so did I, and that was really weird. Kevin, wasn't that weird to listen to? It was like Darth Vader was with us. Kind of like if I was doing heavy breathing in my new microphone headset, but I wasn't. So it had to be Darth Vader, right?
Evil forces trying to intercede. I'll tell you what.
All right, let's get right to this. I've been wanting to tell the Dan Gable story for a while. I love saunas. I've been in saunas. I've cut weight in saunas. I still go to the sauna all the time. And I've picked up stuff over the years that I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they come from, but I spend a lot of time in the sauna. Well, there's sauna etiquette. Okay, there's sauna etiquette that not everybody knows. Okay, I don't know why they don't know it, but I know it because the chances are I've spent more time in a sauna than most 51-year-old men. I've spent more time in a sauna than most people that'll ever spend in their life. So the first rule of a sauna is put some damn drawers on. Put some shorts on. A towel doesn't work. Wrapping a towel around, it doesn't work because you're going to sit on the sauna and it just doesn't work.
That's an age thing. The younger people still have a little bit of shame, but you get 60, 70, 75 years old, those guys are in there just flopping around and sprawled out on the bench.
It's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with shame. It's just, man, you put some drawers on. Yeah. I don't need to hang out with a bunch of dudes I don't know and chit-chat with you when you're balls-ass naked.
Like a Roman bath.
Yeah. So first and foremost, put some drawers on. This ain't Jamaica, okay? This ain't a nude beach. It's a sauna. Now, the second rule is whoever's in the sauna first owns the sauna. So when I walk into a sauna with my shorts on, I'm going to stay a while. Now, if there's two people in the sauna, when I get there, I'm going to make sure those two people are gone before I ever leave. That's just how I work. It's a game. I think wrestlers play it. I know I do. And so if you're the first one in the sauna and you're playing music, fine, cool. Then music plays until you leave. If you come into my sauna and you want to sauce the sauna, you want to hop up the sauna, you need to ask me, okay? And you need to stay. If you sauce it, you stay. You stay until I leave. Now, everybody doesn't go by these rules, okay? I understand. I've got my own set. But the most infuriating thing, other than dudes not having drawers on, is a couple kids coming in, saucing up the sauna, staying for 2 minutes, and leaving. Because I'm going to stay in the sauna one time. When I break, I'm out. Okay, that's if I'm not cutting weight, I'm going to stay in one stretch, and I'm going to leave. Whether that's 15 minutes or an hour, it doesn't matter. It's one stretch. So Here's there's the etiquette to kind of set you up. I've never went into a sauna unless the guy was doing something crazy and left before everybody else. Well, tonight on cue at the J, I walk into the sauna and there's a naked ass man laying down, and I can't tell because I'm not really going to check him out that much, but he's got to be 65-ish. He's in his 60s, maybe 70s. He's bone ass naked, and he's laying down. He's also doing the worst sit-ups in the world. Like he's got his hands over his head. All right, he's laid out. He's got his hands over his head. He might be coming up far enough to put his chin to his neck, but that's it. There's nothing going on in terms of a sit-up. There's just an old man gyrating his head back and forth, bone ass naked. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to sit this one out, man. I'm gonna try to make it. I make it 5 minutes. He hadn't stopped, so he's done in 5 minutes. In his crazy land, he's probably done 500 sit-ups. so and again, I've seen a lot of crazy things in the sauna. That's up there. So I bail. I'm like, I can't do it. I got enough material. I'm out. I go jump in the steam for 10 minutes and then come back. He's gone. Get my sauna in. So the Dan Gable story. Now, if anybody doesn't know who Dan Gable is, you weren't a wrestler. If you're anywhere near my age, you know who Dan Gable is. He's the very first kind of Olympic legend wrestler of our time.
Yep.
Then he went on. He was Olympic champ. He was a two-time Division I wrestling champ. Never lost a match until his very last year. He lost to Larry Owens in the finals, which was one of the biggest upsets ever. Now, the reason he wasn't a four-time champ is because they didn't let freshmen wrestle in the opens when Dan Gable wrestled. Yeah. So, me coming up, Gable, just everything. Now, I had a chance to wrestle against him my freshman year at the Southern Illinois in Edwardsville. We almost beat Iowa. We had our heavyweight not got pinned. We beat them, and that we would have broke their streak of years and years and years.
Wow.
I wrestled Rico Ciparelli. He beat me. He was a returning All-American, very, very good wrestler at Iowa. I think he was a 4-time All-American. He beat me up pretty good, but he didn't pin me. He didn't tech me. He didn't get any extra points. Maybe 7-2, 8-2, something like that. So I wrestled against Dan Gable. So now this is years later, and we have the car dealership out in Oregon, and Matt Lindland is wrestling. He's went on in 2000, and he was a silver medalist in the Olympics. And this is 2001. He's now moved up a weight, and he's wrestling at the U.S. Opens. So there's about an hour before the finals start. It's at the Mandalay Bay. I go down into a sauna I've stayed at, plenty of times. Help Chael cut weight in that exact same sauna. And I walk in. There's 3 or 4 guys in, and Dan Gable is one of them. So I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm not going to be like, oh, well, cool, hey, big fan, and da-da-da-da-da. He's getting his sauna on. I'm just going to sit there. But there ain't a chance in the world I'm leaving before Dan Gable leaves. There's literally no, now I don't know how long he's been in there. Here's the key. He could have been in there 5 minutes. He could have been in there 20. I don't know to this day. He could have been in there an hour. I don't know. So, and this thing's pretty hot. This sauna's pretty hot. And if you know anything about saunas, the hotter it is, the harder it is. if it's it's hot at the beginning, man, it's hard to pull a half hour. So I'm in there 20 minutes. And I look up, there's still one guy left in there, and Dan Gable. He's on the other side of the sauna. And I'm like, all right. I can't move. He's at the top. He's at the top tier, so I can't go down a tier. I'm at the top tier too. Dan's at the top. I'm at the top. So, man, another 10 minutes goes by. Now it's just me and him. I just keep looking at him every now and then, because you can tell when somebody's getting ready to break in the sauna. You can tell they'll start moving around a little bit. They'll show you a sign that they're on their last leg. Now, I'm playing this game against Dan Gable, and he can get up and go out of the sauna anytime he wants, but I can't. There's a Darth Vader breath, I guarantee it. So, all right. So anyway. So now I'm in 45 minutes, and I'm just dying. I am dying because it's a hot sauna. I make it to about the 50-minute mark again. I don't know how long he's been in there. And I look at him, and he says, "I'm playing too, kid."
Nice.
So I said, "You got this, boss. You got this." And I scoot out of the sauna. So I love that story. I hated how hot that sauna was, and I hate that he beat me. Because as a matter of fact, because he cracked me. He could have been leaving in 2 minutes. That could have been his last hurrah, letting me know he's playing too. And I did exactly what. This is the first time I've actually walked through this and thought about it.
He played you. He played you.
Yeah, he played me. So there's your
awesome.
sauna etiquette story. Nice. And now I'm going to tell a story. I had a good day today. I had a good day at work, but it didn't start out well. First thing, I go to the gym this morning, and Kevin, I'm on this MyZone thing. Well, I got so bloody yesterday, and I got my heart rate through the roof. They changed my numbers. They'll just periodically change my numbers. So I've got to work harder to get into the 80 and 90 percentile. So I kill it this morning. I kind of feel like I won, even though they changed the numbers. I'm feeling pretty good. And the owner calls me, and he starts screaming at me. Now that's not a good way. That's not a good way to start your day. And he tells me, this gentleman bought a vehicle from us about 4 weeks ago, and as it turns out, he put me together in the booth at the very end. He's going to pay cash for it. We agree that it's $8,500, and he says, "Well, hey, do you have the title?" And I was like, "No, we can go get the title. It generally takes a couple days to get the title." And he says, "Well, I got $6,300 on me now. I'll just pay you the rest when I pick up the title tomorrow." And I'm like, "All right, that sounds fair." I look in. We don't have any liability at that point. Basically, it's what we paid for the car, so it's okay. Now I don't normally do it, but I do it. Well, sure shit, and this guy doesn't want to pay the rest. He wants his title. The car's, just every excuse in the world. Now, this isn't something that I would normally do. So every day of my life in a managerial position, that deal would have been stuck right back in my lap, and I would have went and got my money. Well, the owner took this out of my plate and said, "No, I'll deal with it. This is a month ago. Now, this guy owes us $2,200, but he owes me 30% of that. This guy owes me a plane ticket. He owes Lad a baseball bat. This guy owes me money, but it's not in my plate." So the owner starts screaming at me, saying, "He said you said this and that and blah blah blah." Like I was taking sides with the meatball that owes me $2,200. So I tell the owner, I said, "Well, first off, you need to quit screaming at me. Second off, it doesn't matter what I tell a customer that owes us $2,200. Whatever I'm telling him, I have a plan to try to get my $2,200. So you got to take that off the plate. Third off, any place I've ever worked at in my life, I've got to own that deal. I've got to own that. I've got to take care of that. That's my money. That's your money, but it's my money too. And one thing that I'll do is I'll make a mistake, but I'll take care of it right away. This is 4 weeks. So he says, fine, the deal's in, blah, blah, blah. You know, you do whatever you want. Okay. All right. So I text old boy, and this is a pretty big old boy. You know, he's 6'4". He's probably 250, 260. But again, nobody fights. Nobody ever gets in a fight. When was the last time, Kevin, seriously, that you saw a fight in public?
Oh, long time.
Not at a UFC event, you know, not at a football, just in public.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Yeah.
It never happens. So, you know, but I know I'm going to put this guy on blast. So I send him a text. Hey, I got your title. Oh, and somehow we had his license too. The owner was holding his license hostage or whatever, which I always thought was stupid. And I might have told the dummy that, but it was stupid. Anyway, I got your license. I got your title. What are we going to do about getting me my $2,200 cash today? He doesn't respond. Doesn't answer my call. And I'm like, all right, this guy's an idiot. Well, sure enough, he pulls up in a big old truck about a half hour later, and he comes in my office, and I got to set the scene. So I've got a long office that's probably 25 feet in length, facing the office, facing where the customers come in. There's other desks out there. It's all windows. There's 2 doors on the left side. So I have my desk against these windows, but I also have 2 other desks on each side. So I'm kind of in a shoe. So you come through the door. So he comes in, and he says, where's my license? I said, I'm going to get your license. I said, I'll go grab your license and your title, and I'll follow you to your bank, and you can give me my $2,200. And he's like, no, you don't know my schedule, and blah, blah, blah. And he starts going off. He's standing up, I'm sitting down. And see, the reason I'm putting myself over is because there's a really good line coming up here. There's a really good line coming up here. So I'm sitting down. Okay, he's yelling at me, and now I've never been accused of having patience, but I'm not going to yell and scream at a customer. That's just not something I'm going to do. But this guy's yelling and screaming at me, and now he starts cussing. And I said, you do not need to cuss at me. Then he says, he's telling me all the reasons why. This guy owes me $2,200. Okay, he's yelling at me, and I let him know that. I said, you're yelling at me, and you owe me $2,200. And he says, well, your owner, blah blah blah, and your owner's a pussy. And as soon as he said that, I stood up and I said, I'm not.
Nice.
So now again, I do not expect. But now this guy's heated. Now this guy's yelling, and now I'm standing up. And there's 2 big dudes, but there's still a desk in between us.
Yeah.
Now I can come over to the left side and confront him right next to him, and kind of escalate this thing. But the problem is the camera. The camera, that's a blind spot for the camera. So if I go ahead and highlight reel this guy,
nobody sees it.
Nobody sees it. So I walk out to the other side to the front. Now we're on the which would be considered the showroom. Now we got it. And by that time he must have seen crazy eyes, because he just said, here, let me write you a check. Give me my license, write me a check, and when it clears, I'll give you the title. So there we go. I had to put myself over because I really love that line. I really loved it. So
perfect timing.
Yeah, it was. And again, it's like my buddy Reese. I told him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, guys don't understand that. You guys are all different. I never understood that until I hung around you guys for like 15 years, and I had to go to a conflict resolution class, and they asked Reese, hey, how many times when there's a loud verbal altercation does it end in a fight?" And Reese was like, "Every time." So off we went. I had a great day. I had a chance to watch. Did you get a chance to watch the Bellator presser?
Yes, I watched the presser and the photo ops, the face offs. Absolutely.
Okay, actually, I threw it out there. Might as well. We'll put Bellator ahead of the UFC. I think it's fascinating. Fascinating is a big word. I like what's going on this weekend. I like that Bellator's going head to head.
Yeah,
they're going head to head with some star power. What was your takeaways from the And guys, if you haven't seen the Bellator press conference, there's not a lot of shine to it. There is a big discrepancy between the UFC and Bellator, but from what you saw, and you can watch it on Ponyboy's site, MMAfighting.com. He has it. What was your takeaways from the Bellator press conference?
Chael's in good spirits. I don't know if that's good or bad. Same thing with the face-off. I mean, very, very jovial. I don't know. I don't know how to read that. You know him better than me. But there's certainly no animosity, I don't know. It's just not what you would think for two heavyweight fighters.
Well, yeah, I've got my own opinions on that. But one thing that you have to realize is the surroundings that you're in. So if that was a UFC press conference, there's going to be a ton of people there. A ton of people.
Oh, absolutely.
There. It's going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of energy. The athletes feed off that energy.
Yeah, this is very bland, very muted. I mean, you figure probably all the big time reporters are in Boston, so this one gets all the leftovers.
Well, you know what? Karen Bryant was there. The English guy was there.
Gareth. Yeah.
There were some people there, but I think my point is, wasn't which reporters were there, was
different vibes. Absolutely.
It's a completely different vibe.
Yep.
And I kind of equate it to. Did you ever have a challenge wrestling match?
Challenge. You mean like
when you're trying
wrestle off
to make the team?
Yeah, wrestle off. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you know how different a wrestle off is compared to a regular.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's night and day. I mean, there'll be a good scrap and everything, but it's just night and day. You feel different.
Anticlimactic.
So I'm not reading much into any of that.
Yeah.
I am interested in. I mean, Rampage is a big old boy. There's a lot of things I'm interested in. Let's talk about Chael and Rampage first. Again, I'm exactly where I was 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago and a month ago. I liked how lean Chael was. He's obviously, that's something that he knows. He knows he competes better. He moves his feet better under 218 pounds.
Yeah.
I've told him to move his feet thousands and thousands of times, because if he's moving his feet, he's doing well, and if his feet stop, he's getting hit.
Yeah. He said he's under 220. I watched again today. I rewatched the segment from, I think it was Tuesday on the Rich Eisen show, and he said he was about 218. He wanted to come in at 214, but he didn't know if he'd he wasn't doing anything to cut, so we didn't know where he'd come in at. But
yeah, he'll be 214. He'll go do it, even if it means sit in a sauna for a little bit. There's something about making yourself uncomfortable that if you've done it forever and you competed, if you don't make yourself uncomfortable, you're gonna be floating around. So he's done a great job of that, whether he's done it on purpose or he just wanted to get to that weight. So I like his chances. I haven't looked at the odds to see if they went up or down. I'm sure they'll probably, because Rampage is so big and people take something from that. Chael's got fear. Fear will make a dog out of all of us, baby. Fear will make a dog out of all of us. So I like Rampage being that big. I really do. I think you're going to get a good competition out of Chael. I think he'll do real well. I think he'll win the fight.
I think he gets him down, and I just don't see Rampage having the conditioning at this stage in his career in that weight. Like Chael said, he plans on 3 takedowns, 1 per round, and just grinding him out. So that's how I see it. Yeah, I just don't see Rampage doing much once he goes down. So.
Yeah, he needs to be glued to him. I'll be interested to see. They talked about making the Grand Prix heavyweight tournament something of its own. I'm sure they're looking at how they're going to piece it together and monetize it through video or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's going to be something completely different. I thought it was interesting that Rory McDonald said that he was devastated when he wasn't on the top bill no more.
Yeah, I saw that. And Paramount wanted it switched because of the names. They just thought, being their first event with the network switching over, that they thought the Chael Rampage as the headliner, the names would draw more than Rory and Lima.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, agreed.
It's a no-brainer. I don't know what the big deal is. As a matter of fact, it's not a big deal to me. I would have rather it been Chael on the undercard, or not on the undercard, but the co-main, or whatever the hell you want to call it, just so I can watch the fight faster.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that I'm tuned in to see.
And what's with Rory and the turtlenecks? Is he really psychotic? Every presser, every event, every photo op, he's wearing turtlenecks. That's just weird.
I don't know. I tell you, if Rory beats Lima, it's an amazing story, because very few guys, I say this over and over and over again, very few guys rise to the top, which he did, right there on the cusp of a championship, and then take some hard losses.
Yeah.
And then rise back up. So, good for Rory. I think that I think that's going to be a close fight from everything I'm hearing about Lima. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a great striker. Yeah, great kicks. Devastating leg kicks. So, looking at the odds, Rory is minus 230. He's the favorite. So.
Wow, that's a live. That Lima's a live dog right there.
Yeah, and Rampage is the favorite at minus 145. Chael's plus 115.
Oh, Chael's down to 115.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of money coming in on Chael then. Good. They must have listened to me when he was plus 135. Congratulations, guys, that got in early. Yeah, those numbers could go the other way tomorrow. The difference in sizes when they face off is going to be huge.
Check out this line. The Aaron Pico, the young phenom, he's minus 700 against Crutchin.
Yeah. I'm sure Pico's.
He's got two pro fights, and he's a minus 700 favorite.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get caught again. That's a guy to just stay away from that bet. I thought Chandler, talking the way he has. If you guys know Chandler's career, he's had every bit of a great career as Eddie Alvarez. He's just done it all over in Bellator. So I like what he was saying in terms of, I don't have to fight for a belt. I can just fight. I like that. It didn't bother me a bit.
I'd like to see him get back in the title hunt, get the belt over there. I'd love to see him, cross over to the UFC before he gets too old and just see how he fares. Because he's one of those few guys that's not in the UFC that could absolutely compete.
Well, I tell you, I don't know if the UFC can pay him what Bellator would probably pay him to keep him, because that's the guy that's who knows about that loyalty. So while we're on Bellator, and you mentioned the Rich Eisen interview, did you see the interview with Chael that he, again, I don't know, I've talked to him one time this week.
You still there? I think we lost you.
All right, so I don't know if you guys, I got cut off, I'm back. So I'm talking about Chael promoting
Dog and Chuck.
Well, Chael, I said there's a genius in the way Chael promotes a fight during fight week. He's got a fight, Rampage, in 2 days, and he's hustling Chuck. He's putting, that news is out there. The MMA media is weak, so they'll push during fight week, they'll push up stuff that happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But according to this morning when I woke up, I read an interview about Chuck, basically saying, hey, if it bothered me that much, I would just go to his house. I thought that was a pretty cool line. He said, this guy, you can't trust this guy. What he says, you can't believe. He just makes stuff up. And so Chael, and I'm just like, I'm into it. I'm just like, well, yeah, whatever. I'd love to see that fight. You guys are talking about it now. It's genius. So Chael is interviewed yesterday. Apparently he went on Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen said, hey, do you have any message for Chuck? And he said, yeah, which means he cut a promo. He goes to the dressing room, the dream room, and Chuck's in there.
Yeah, they told him he was going to be there tomorrow, and he was in the back.
Okay, here's the problem. Okay, I don't know. Again, I do not know. I have not spoke with him. But Chael says that his mom, Claudia, and his uncle had to break.
Yeah, I heard that they had to get in between them.
Okay, here's your problem. Claudia is a $105, and she's got to be 70 pounds. She's got to be 70 years old. Okay, Uncle Rudy is quite a bit older than Claudia. Okay, so if there's there may have been some words back and forth in a dressing room, but if I'm to believe that Claudia and Rudy stopped Chuck Liddell and Chael from fighting, I gotta pass on that one. I gotta say, I gotta call BS. I gotta say that never happened. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But again, it's absolutely genius, because, quite frankly, it's a win-win situation. He beats Rampage. He's got a Chuck fight out there.
Absolutely.
That's gonna happen. He loses the Rampage, has a great performance. He's still got a Chuck fight out there. He's given up 40 pounds.
Yep.
So I'm still rooting for him. I hope, I think he could beat Rampage. I still think he can win the tournament. But you want to talk about promotion? That's just why he is so good at it.
He's the master.
I don't agree with everything he does, but sometimes I got to tip my hat.
I just thought, watching them back to back, their two segments, the contrast in somebody like Chael, who is all personality, charisma, can talk, can sell, and then Chuck gets on there and is just awkward as all hell. I mean, he's answering questions, he stutters, he's just no personality whatsoever. Talk about, and Chael referenced that, Chuck came from the competition era where you had to get in there, you had to compete, you had to, be a badass and win to move up and get fights. And Chael was more, a few years later, the entertainment era where you could, sell yourself, sell the fight. You get the title shots just based on marketing yourself. And you could clearly tell that in their interviews with Eisen, because Chuck was just painful to listen to. I mean, no personality.
Did you see The Greatest Showman?
Not yet. I have not. I've heard good things about it.
All right, so there's a line in The Greatest Showman where Barnum and Bailey. What's that guy's name?
P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum. Yeah, P.T. Barnum is trying to convince Zac Efron, the actor, the character he's playing, to run away into show business. And he says, "I can't. I've never even heard of running away in the show business." And he says, "That's because I just made it up." The competition era, that was literally made up the second
on the spot.
It.
Yeah.
I've never. It was. Yeah. It's just, you know what? I mean, good for him. I'd love to see a Chuck fight. That would sell. That would be big. I think that's the right dance partner. I'd love to see, Chael have a great performance, beat Rampage, and then it's house money.
Oh, absolutely.
He beats Rampage. It's house money. You got a Liddell fight out there. You put a couple more out there. He's got walk away money. Good for him. All right, now let's go over to the UFC. Does anybody other than me and you and Ladd believe that Stipe is going to win this fight? Because by the promotion that I'm seeing, the UFC doesn't believe it.
No, it's like they're putting all the eggs in Ngannou already. They're preparing for his title run, all the marketing. I clearly see him winning. Ngannou hasn't been tested. I think he's very one-dimensional. They're giving him all the shine and all the push, and I think it's going to bite him in the ass.
I hope it does, and if that dude runs through Stipe, then he's everything. He's everything everybody's saying he is.
But with the 2 title defenses already, I think even if Stipe gets knocked out in 30 seconds, I think they give him an immediate rematch. I really do. Just because he's had the 2 title defenses. Nobody else has ever done more than 2.
History shows no. History shows no. They could do they could do a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to stay away from that because I really am a huge fan of Stipe's, and I want to think positive for him. I don't want to think about that outcome. But it is a fair point how much push Ngannou's getting. I know that that's I don't know how plugged in Stipe is to that. You never know how plugged in a fighter is to that stuff. Randy used to say it didn't bother him. I never believed him. But Randy wasn't. He's way more. Randy is way more plugged in now than he was as a competitor. Did you see DC's interview where he said Ted Bundy passed a polygraph?
Yes, about John Jones. I love that line. And then they brought it up kind of the end. What do you think about John Jones passed the polygraph? He said, Ted Bundy passed the polygraph. I love that. That was brilliant.
But did you hear what he said after? Did you hear what he said afterwards?
That I don't know. I saw the sound bite in the clip of it, so I didn't.
Well, he said, yeah, Ted Bundy. He said Ted Bundy passed a polygraph. Then he killed the motherfucker that gave it to him. That was his walk off. It was beautiful. It was just so good. How are you? Whoa. We haven't announced. So, there has been a decision made whether you are going to get on the plane and go to this event.
No. unless my wife hands me the phone and said, "Here's the ticket. I bought you a ticket. Go." It's not happening. I will be watching on my 75-inch LED from the comfort of my couch. So, I'm sitting this one out.
You were Darth Vader there. That wasn't me. I heard a Darth Vader.
That was me. That was my angst and.
So what was the deciding factor? Come on, lay on the couch, talk to the Godfather. Let me know how you came about that decision.
Guilt. Good old, Catholic guilt. Just too much going on. Too many expenses. Too many other things going on in our life to take the time out. We've got a house showing on Saturday. We got somebody coming to look. So it was just. It wouldn't have been the responsible thing to do to leave it all on my wife, to her to clean and prep the house and do all that stuff with the 3 kids. And
yeah, I tell you, if I've been to 27 or 28 of those events, there's all of 14 of them that I wish I wouldn't have went to.
Yeah,
And
I got faith Chael's going to win, so I'm going to have another opportunity. I'll catch him in the semis. So I have full faith he's going to win this one, and I'll get another shot. So.
Well, you'll get another shot anyway, but yeah, I mean, you had a good run.
Yeah,
you had a good run. They got the 4th kid coming. We're gonna have to batten down the hatches. Scare people into that life insurance. I think it's brilliant.
What happens if you die tomorrow, Joel? Are you prepared for that?
No. Well, nobody's prepared for that.
Are you financially prepared for that if you die tomorrow?
Absolutely. Let me see what's in the gym bag. I think I have. Well, I got a heart rate monitor.
There you go.
It's not going to come in any handy. So I'm going.
I got a question for you. Did the girl go out on the lot today? Did she move the cars?
Oh God, this is good. She may have. It was like 40 degrees, but it doesn't matter. It's not. I just want to get. I've got some things going on in Portland. Hopefully, will pan out for me this weekend, and there will be another chapter of The Godfather coming up shortly. I hope I'm willing that. I've had a wonderful time here, but it's time to get back to my son.
When are you flying out?
It's just
Friday?
They fly out tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And I'm supposed to come back Sunday. I may, depending on how things go, I might extend it a day. So yeah, I said, other than seeing my son, I'm interested in going back to my gym. Stafford Hills Club's got that beautiful pool outside. I love that place. I love everything about that place. And I get to see my beautiful ex-wife, who I still love deeply, and until she yells at me for something, and I'm like, God, why do I love you so much? Like, why do you make me feel that way?
There's always a chance, man. Always a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna be stuck with her when she's all busted up and broken down. I gotta take care of her. Yeah, I know how this thing's gonna play out. That's what do you got? I can shut her down. I don't think I got anything else.
No, that was good.
I'm hoping I wasn't that much Darth Vader. Since I did most of the talking, there shouldn't have been much Darth Vader. Kevin, I think that's a good idea, going with the guilt. At 37 years old, you start buying into that shit now. Yeah, you'll be a broken, busted, depleted man by the time you're my age. So that'll work out real well for you. Oh my God, I'm selling my house, man. I'm Brother Sid, baby. I'm Brother Sid. I'm getting on that plane. Give me that phone. Here, those are cheapest chips tickets, man. Anyway, I'm just giving you a hard time. I think that's a good decision.
I know.
So, what do we got? What's today? So we got to do another one tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. We don't have to do one Saturday. We'll do another one tomorrow. Guys, peace out. Remember, you might be a pussy, but I'm not.
Do what?